Hi guys, I've decided to do one post a week where I talk about the market in general and also will give you one or more trades where I see a good opportunity for short or long term. So sign up for my channel, and also if you want to see my trades on pretty much everyday basis, you can join my Patreon club. The link is in the description. So let me talk about the market a little bit. And it's very important because 70% of the stock movement is actually the overall market movement. And the only 30% is the individual stock. So the market movement is very important. Right now, I see three issues hanging over the market. I mean, they're interconnected, but still I want to separate them. First of all, it's Fed raising rates. Second is a 10-year treasury rate is lower than a 2-year treasury rate. And the third is the war between Russia and Ukraine right now. So let's stop at each point, and I will explain just a few words. So why Fed is raising rates is because they want to fight the inflation. The inflation is a big problem at this point, and as far as I remember, it's like 7.5% right now, which is crazy in my opinion. And they want to slow down the economic activity. That's why they're raising rates, and they promise to do it 7 times this year. Also, they're going to wind down their bond purchasing program. That moves us to item number two, which is a 10-year treasury is lower than 2-year treasury, which economists call an inverted curve. When that happens, when that situation, when 2-year treasury is actually higher than a 10-year treasury, people expect a recession in the future. So they're less confident about the future than in the current or present. Okay, and the third item is the war in Ukraine. War in Ukraine, as you know, Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, and there's an active war going on, and that could influence Europe's purchasing power and economic activity. And so far, we see the results of that actually. So all these items are waiting on markets right now, and there could be negatives, but there are positives as well, because April is the best month probably in a year for the market. So that's the hottest month for the market. Also, there are about $5 trillion on the sidelines, so people have a lot of purchasing power. So I expect, even though we have these problems, I expect stocks to go up in the next couple of weeks. But later, at the end of the month, I'd like to have some sales as well. So I'm going to talk about some stocks today, actually three stocks that have a very similar technical setup, and I think there could be a good buying opportunities in the next couple of days to take advantage of April and the big run that we may have in the next couple of weeks. So the first stock I want to talk to you about is SoFi. SoFi is a financial company that has a lot of things going for it because it's a very diversified company. It has three main divisions. First of all, it's loans, student loans. That's their major product. And second is their financial products. And third is their banking. So recently they received a bank chapter, and they pretty much became a bank. But the stock has been hit hard lately, and because it's usually thrown with the other fintech companies like Block and Firm and Upstart and others. But in reality, it's much more diversified than fintech companies. So as you can see on the chart, it has a pretty good setup because it's been making higher highs recently. So if it's going to continue to do that, I think it's going to end up above $11, which is not a big move from 977 to 11, but in percentage wise, it's like 15 to 20%. So it can actually go higher than that, because if it can cross the 50-day moving average here, it can go to 11.50 or $12. So I think it's a pretty good setup to me, percentage-wise, and I think the stock is a good gamble at this point. I mean, nobody can guarantee what's going to happen because of the, like I mentioned before, Russia-Ukraine war and the interest rates and Fed. Every day the Fed officials talking. It's like it could, it could swing the market either way. So, but in general, pretty good setup for SoFi, and I think it's a good opportunity, in my opinion, in the coming weeks, as the market is going to be rising, in my opinion, in the next couple of weeks. But uh, you could never tell. But I would buy it here. Second stock I'd like to talk to you about is PayPal. Okay, so PayPal has been hit hard lately after its last earnings release due to slowdown in their business. Actually, a company projected a huge growth a quarter before, and then they showed not such a good growth after. And that's due to several factors, especially separation from eBay and also slowdown in their major business. And but there were a lot of positives in the report as well, like actually having a Venmo button at the Amazon site soon, and actually accelerating growth in the second half of the year. And the most important thing is the price. What I like about the PayPal at this point, because PayPal was trading at around $300, and it went down all the way to $95 and hit that level several times, actually three times. So it's trading less than 30 times forward earnings, which is a pretty low multiple for PayPal, considering that it's still a growth stock and it's going to be growing double digits. Not as high growth as it was projected previously by CEO, but still a pretty good growth, in my opinion. And since it's going to be accelerating this second half of the year, I'm expecting actually um, good things from PayPal. So it's been trading, like I said, around $95 several times, and now it's trading in a channel between like 95 and like 140. So I think it's gonna be trading around 140 pretty soon, considering the positive trends in the market in April. And if it can break 140, then it can go all the way up to 170, maybe even 180 to fill this gap, as you can see right here. So big potential for PayPal, in my opinion. But even if it goes to like 121 to 138, it's still a pretty good gain in a couple, in a few like couple of weeks or so. So who knows what's going to happen? But in my opinion, it's a pretty good bet on PayPal at this point. Finally, the stock I'd like to talk to you about is Netflix. So Netflix, just like the other two, was hit hard after the last earnings report. Actually, they showed a slowdown in subscriber growth in North America and Canada, and added only 1 million subscribers in Latin America. And investors didn't like the report because they thought it was a saturation in subscriber growth. But the report itself was not that bad, and I thought it was the seasonal slowdown in subscriber growth, and I think COVID had a lot to do with that as well. Uh, and I think it's going to be accelerating in the second half, just like for PayPal, subscriber growth for Netflix. And there are a lot of positive trends developing for Netflix recently, and I think price increases is another catalyst that can work well for Netflix in the future, and that's what Netflix is doing. They're basically increasing prices all the time, and consumers hasn't been complaining much. And I think it's on the way to a bit of a recovery for its stock on the stock price. As you can see, it hit like a level of $330. Like at its low point, and then it was trading in the range, like in a channel, from 330 to around 410. And so I think it's trading right now at 391. I think it's going to go to around 420 in a good case scenario. It can break out and go above like 420 and go all the way to like 460. And if that price, if that resistance cannot hold, so basically it can break out and fill this gap between 460 and $500. So that's in a good case scenario, but who knows what's gonna happen? But I think it still will go to from 391 to 424, which is still a pretty good return considering that it's gonna be. I'm expecting Netflix to do it in the next probably couple of weeks. But as usual, I have to caution because never know what's going to happen with in the market. Ukraine Russia war or another Fed official come out and be more aggressive. So who knows? But in general, pretty good setup for Netflix as well. Not as good as for PayPal and SoFi, but still, I would trade Netflix at this point. So that's it, guys. Those three stocks I would consider right now for next update. See me next week.